free to post questions in the comments, because I will later on I'll go back and look at them all. Big thank you to everyone for your congrats. I much appreciate that. But let's get this box open. All right. So I'm just going to start on this side. Live unboxing is not really my forte, if I'm going to be honest with you. I like to take my time with unboxings. If you've seen my iPhone XS review video, if you've seen my Google Pixel 3 XL review video, and even earlier in the year, last year, I did my PC unboxing. So if you've seen those, then you know that I like doing a bit more of a cinematic approach to unboxings, and doing something a bit live like this is a bit daunting, if I'm being honest. Right, what am I missing here? This one. Right. Whoop. Let's get that open. Something's not fully disconnected yet. Still there. Here we go. Rightio, we're open. Apologies if that was loud in your ears. Right. This is exciting. I haven't, literally, as you can see, I have not even opened this once yet. And it's been disappointing. I've wanted to have it up on my wall in the back of videos and whatnot, but again, I wanted you guys to share in this. So no, it's not under there. So I'm going to take this off. We get a beautiful written message. Let's take a quick look at this. Is this boring? Sorry. You've done something that very few subscribe. An astonishing 100,000 people subscribe to your channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Blah, blah, blah. Right. We know that you don't do this for rewards. You do it because you have a drive to create and share, and because you found an audience who cares. That is very true. And we'll chat a little bit more about that later on. And then signed by Susan, the CEO of YouTube. I'm not even going to give it a crack to pronounce her last name. I probably should know that, given that technically in this field she is my boss, right? Right, here it is. Whoop. Let's get that light. Presented to Sam Beckman for passing 100,000 subscribers. Man, this is awesome. Actually, I feel like this is quite a bit different to ones that I've seen in the past. Am I wrong? Looks like they've come up with a new design where it's I thought in past videos I thought it was in a frame. This is like a full-on dedicated plaque situation, and there it is in all its glory. Guys, thank you so much. I cannot say thank you enough for hitting subscribe and coming and watching my videos and being as supportive as you are. So there it is. There's my 100,000, our 100,000K subscriber plaque, silver play button. Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you. So I'm going to put that down. Oh, I wish I had planned for this. Can I put that there? Yeah, let's do that. Sorry, I'm just moving boxes around here. I don't want it to fall though mid-vid. So let's get this sorted out. That way it can be to the side. Oh, it's not even in the frame. Excuse me. Please don't fall, my friend. Right, there it is, just in the corner of frame. So yeah, a big thank you to you guys. I remember when I hit 1,000 subscribers. It was at the start of 2016, so 3 years ago, over 3 years ago now. And I had been doing weekly videos on YouTube for about 4 to 5 months. And I decided that about August of 2015, I decided that I was going to do weekly videos for 6 months, and I was going to see where it took me. And obviously, I decided to focus in on the Android tech enthusiast side of things when it came to my channel. And so I did it for 6 months. I got to 1,000 subscribers in roughly January of 2016, and I was pumped. I remember thinking, gee, this is massive. Yeah, I mean, 1,000 people wanting to come and watch my videos, and it is and was massive. That there's no way that I'm going to discount that for anything. And then so I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep going. 1,000 people want to watch my stuff. Maybe there's more out there. So I kept going, kept refining my skill, kept figuring out what my channel was looking like in terms of the content that I was creating. And I think it was about a year later that I hit 10,000 subscribers. So that brings us to 2017. And then by the end of 2018, I had hit 50,000 subscribers. And that was a massive milestone for me. And I thought this may be perhaps the peak of my channel. Maybe I'll go up a little bit further than that. And then yet somehow we're here, even at the end of 2018, but obviously now with over 100,000 subscribers, 115,000 people wanting to watch my stuff. And there's signs that perhaps there's still more people out there who want to come and watch my content. So super exciting. It is a massive milestone. As they say, the first 1,000 is really the hardest to hit. So once you get that 1,000 subscriber mark, each milestone after that, for some reason, it feels not as difficult as that first 1,000. It's a real long drawn out process, just reaching 1,000 subscribers, and then it's crazy how it just it becomes, as much as I love the fact that I've got 100,000 people watching and subscribe to my channel, it's more the people who are interacting with my videos and jumping on and commenting and interacting with me on Twitter and Instagram that I really find joy out of and really appreciate. But not discounting, again, the fact that 100,000 is awesome. It feels like such a privilege that I get to make videos for over 100,000 people. So thank you again to everyone. And let's head into the comment section for a bit, and we'll see if we've got any questions yet, although I'm just seeing lots of congratulations. So thank you everyone for your congratulations. Yeah, all right. I apologize. I'm just going to go through back up to the top and see if anyone's actually asked any questions. David Ang says, "Hey Sam, what's up? Love your videos. Yassine, can't wait. Matt Kowalski, Jayesh, awesome. Thank you guys for your congratulations. Artsy Music, congrats on 100K. Thank you very much. Omar, Arshan, awesome. Arshan says, sometimes you can tell when a video is live and bad quality, but you can't really tell on this one. That is good to hear. I've actually been, that's why I was a little bit later on hitting live, because there was a couple of technical issues with the stream and Wi-Fi issues. Hopefully it's coming through okay on your guys' end. Yassine says, how is your baby boy? He is doing very well. Thank you so much for asking. He's now over 6 months old. He's on solids. He's just such a cute little baby, and you know, my wife and I just love him so much. And it is actually, I got to say, I've really enjoyed becoming a dad, and it's something that I think that, you know, that it's just such a joy if you get the opportunity to do it. And yeah, he's going really well, so that makes life even easier. So he's been a healthy baby. So thank you for asking. Larry says, what's up Sam, congrats, love the content. Thank you, appreciate that Larry. Zach, congratulations, thank you. Geo Jess, hey bro, in your subscriber when you're in 1K. Geo Jess, wow, that's big. Geo, what was the first video that made you watch that brought you into my channel? Do you remember? I mean, that's a long time ago now, so gee, thank you for sticking around. Dylan says congrats. Tech says congrats. Jason, yes, this is well earned and even more deserved. Thank you so much. Wow, that's awesome. Hamish, what's your main audience location? Good question. Starts with the US, followed by India, followed by the UK, and then we've got some Philippines and obviously people from Australia rounding out the top 5 of my audience. So there you go. Michael says, congrats, maybe I'll get it someday. You deserve it. Your videos are beautiful and inspiring. Thank you. Yes, just keep pushing. I mean, I never thought I'd get it, but here we are. So yeah, keep pushing and I'm sure you will get there. Tech Doctor UK, well deserved, man. You basically convinced me to invest in a real camera. Awesome. Your video quality is phenomenal. I'm glad that I'm not only inspiring in the Android field, but also, you know, when it comes to cinematography as well. So awesome. Glad to hear. Your Pure Game, yay, 100K, thank you. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing this name. Surabil Sec. Please do more amazing stuff like this. If you've got any suggestions on what are you talking about live streaming in general? I will do that. It is quite a bit different to, you know, the content that I create normally. So that's you know, sometimes it takes quite a bit of setup but anyway, yeah, maybe I'll keep doing it more regularly than what I have been. Tech Doctor UK says, question, how long on average does it take to make your top 10 apps video? Good question. Right, so let's unpack the process. It takes obviously a bit of research that goes into figuring out which apps I'm going to include. And that not only includes scouring the web, not only the Google Play Store, but the web to see what sort of apps and maybe, APKs I can find. So lots of research goes into that. Good few hours, I'd say, in total. Obviously spread out across maybe a week leading up to when I start making the video. And then from there, once I've curated that list down to 10, and when I say curating it, that means I've installed all the apps on my phone. I've given them a real good test run, and any apps that I find a bit clunky, or perhaps I'm not loving the design of them or whatever, then they obviously drop off the list, and I get it down to 10, which is often quite hard to do. So once I do that, then a bit of scripting goes on to make sure that I'm keeping my videos as concise as possible, because otherwise I end up rambling for hours on end, or at least tens of minutes on hand. Is that how you say it? And so a bit of scripting to get things condensed and into a nice shorter form video. Under 10 minutes is the goal now. And then from there, there's a couple of different steps that go on. So I go out and I shoot the intro sequences that you see. So not only the intro when I'm saying, welcome to another top 10 apps with the 10 app layout on the screen, but then also shooting each app introduction as well. Okay, and that takes a while. That takes probably an hour and a half to 2 hours of shooting in total, including commuting to the location that I am currently shooting. And then from there, and that's a nice thing that I like to get out of the way early in the week, so that I don't have to stress about traveling out to that location to get it done. It's not that far, but it's just one of those things that you don't want to have to leave until the end of the week, otherwise it gets a little bit more stressful. And then from there, I will either shoot, depends where I'm at in the week. So let's say I've shot my intro sequences hopefully on the Monday or Tuesday, and the video is going live on the Friday or Saturday. So I've shot them then, and then I will at some point obviously record my voiceover, which takes about 20 minutes to do for a 10-minute video, so not too bad. And then after that, I will film either the top-down shots or the over-the-shoulder shots. So they're the two different shots that I use throughout my top 10 apps videos to give them a bit of visual diversity and make it a little bit more engaging. And then but the over-the-shoulder shots I actually do two angles of. So I've got one over one shoulder from in one location, and then another over the other shoulder in another location. So that takes a good while, because I need to demonstrate the apps in their in their entirety. So the top-down filming would probably take an hour, maybe an hour and a half. After setting up, that is, which can take another hour. And then the over-the-shoulder shots are a little bit quicker, maybe an hour and a half in total, including setup, which isn't too bad. Then from there, it's on into editing, which can take, I reckon, I'm going to say about 6 hours in total, including all the graphic work, the thumbnail design, and then obviously putting together the sequence of the top apps video. So these days I'm trying to get that duration down, trying to make them short and punchy, because before it was taking a long time to edit, a lot longer than that to edit, because they were a bit longer. I was trying to include as much detail as I could for each app, but now I'm trying to make them a bit more short and punchy. So as you can see, it's a pretty long process. In fact, it's obviously the most popular series on my channel, but it takes the longest to make. It's when it comes to top Android apps week, I'm excited, but also a bit nervous for the week ahead, because it's always the most intense week. So there you go. There's my process of making the top Android apps videos. Let me know if I didn't cover anything in that particular unpacking there, and I'll come back to it. But thanks for that question. It's a good question. FCam says, how long do you take to make a video from start to upload? I've just given you the longest it can take, but the minimum it would take is at least a full day, at least 8 hours. But often it's longer than that when you take into account thumbnail design, again audio mixing and things of that nature, right? So it's at least 8 hours, but often more than that. So that's probably something I've got to work on in the future, is how do I get that efficiency up? right? Because I don't want to have these videos become burdensome, and they're not at the moment, but over a longer extended period of time, perhaps they might. So efficiency is something I've got to improve at, although I'm getting better. Omar says, is rooting worth it now in 2019? If you missed my What's on My Phone video that I released last week, I argue that with Android Pie, it definitely is worth the process of rooting. So as you will know from that video, I now root my Google Pixel 3 XL, and that is mainly so that I can run a launcher that isn't the Pixel launcher, a third-party launcher that's supported, and have full access to the gesture controls and the overview menu. Because if you use a third-party launcher like Nova Launcher, then that menu becomes really janky, and also the gestures become really weird as well. So yes, for that reason, if you've got a device running Android Pie at least, I do think it's worth rooting. JS says, congrats. Hamish says, shout out to fellow Brits. There you go. Let me know where you're watching from, guys. Yassine says, is the Poco phone worth buying in 2019? Yeah, I mean, if you're fine with a more budget-friendly design, other than that, it can absolutely contend with still flagships in terms of performance. So yeah, I think it probably is, given the price point. Although, hoping that Poco phone version 2 comes out sometime in the near future, and maybe it might be best to wait and see what that's going to look like, and also what the price point on that is going to be, because inevitably they're going to raise the price a little bit. Hopefully it's not too much. So, but I still do think it's probably worth it. Shayub, I apologize again if that pronunciation is wrong. What's your opinion on Android Q and the black or dark mode? So I've been eagerly awaiting, I was eagerly awaiting, and now it's been released, the beta of Android Q. I was thinking about perhaps installing it on my Pixel 3 XL, because apparently you can already root it, which is crazy. Although don't hold me to that, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so I was thinking, if I can root it, then I'm going to do it. But I've been watching lots of videos and reading lots of articles, primarily by the crew over at Android Authority. So if you want to find out more, just head over to that website. They've got heaps of different articles covering the different features. And so far, it's a pretty minimal upgrade in terms of what we're seeing visually and design-wise. There are some changes under the hood with settings, and there are some visual changes as well, but quite subtle at this point in time. But I saw a couple of weeks ago, as I was making my What's on My Phone video, which I mentioned in that video, slight side story here, that if you go to using Launcher, you can actually use the home button as the back key, which is really cool. You just swipe it to the left, and it acts as the back key. And I said in my What's on My Phone video, I hope that Google implements this change in their upcoming version of Android, which is Android Q. And a couple of weeks ago, I saw a video that indicates that they are, at the very least, testing it. And they're also talking about a improved way of swiping between apps. It's pretty much going to be instead of this system where it sort of swipes back and forth like that, it's going to be much more like the iOS gesture navigation implementation, where it swipes through all of your different apps, and it does so using a slightly refined animation. And again, when you swipe the home button to go left, swipe the home button left to go back, there's a little animation that goes with it, which obviously isn't there at the moment using this implementation that Launcher have developed. So I am very excited about Android Q when those bigger changes come about. But at the moment, it's pretty subtle changes. Dark mode, which is a little bit tricky to enable depending on if you had it enabled or not when you upgraded, looks really cool. I've been getting more and more into dark mode. I don't love the look of dark mode, but I realize the benefits it has with battery. So and also nighttime scrolling. So it's good to have a dark mode that is system wide, in the settings, in the notifications, not just the notification panel and quick settings, and then also in any or as many apps as is available. So yes, excited for that. If you have any other questions regarding Android Q, I've been reading up on it quite a bit. Haven't installed it yet though, but I do have some thoughts further to that. So feel free to ask more questions. Right. Game Night says, yes, Pokerphone is worth it. There you go. Roger Allen, well done. Great work, mate. Well deserved. Thank you, Roger. Much appreciated. Bitu says, I'm from India. Love your setup video. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Valdemiro. Oh, it's Moro no Brasil, neo entendo o inglés, mas I can't. What is that? Spanish? I apologize. But thank you for checking in from Brazil. Hamish, describe your perfect smartphone. So he's given some suggestions. Samsung Display OnePlus Performance. That's a pretty good start there. And then I would say my perfect smartphone. Yes, I would say it would be a display, obviously from Samsung. It would be the performance and the internals of the OnePlus devices. Obviously, the stills camera and processing of the Google Pixel, and the video camera the video camera processing from the iPhone XS, and actually most iPhones that have been released in recent years. And then in terms of the software experience, right now my current experience, which is a rooted Pixel experience, is my favorite by far. I've got a Samsung S10 with me here, S10 Plus, and thanks to a friend who's lent it to me for a week, so I don't have it for a lot of time. But I've got it in house, and I still I cannot get on board with the software, and even actually Oxygen OS compared to just the integration of Google's software, the Pixel experience. There goes. Okay, Google. Sorry if I've just picked up on a whole heap of your phones there. But yeah, and I just really enjoy the software experience on a Pixel device, but with that added flexibility that comes from rooting it, which is surprisingly easy on the Google Pixel devices. And so, yeah, the overall experience, and again, it's just things like the always-on display and how that interacts with the lock screen, right? So it doesn't want to create burn-in, so it does this little animation. It's floating around the screen all day, and then when you unlock it, it's just smoothly into place, no problem. Unlock animations and things like that. I love it. Even the design of the quick settings and everything, they just seem to do what I personally visually like. So that's the software experience I'd go. But again, with the flexibility of being able to put any third-party launcher on, which at the moment is only available really to do it properly through rooting. Did I miss anything? Speakers of either the Pixel or the iPhone XS, and battery life of probably the Huawei Mate 20 Pro, because that is phenomenal battery life. Anything that I missed there, let me know. That's my perfect smartphone. Yassine says you should do a live room tour. Yeah, maybe. You should see my setup here. It's not quite as versatile as being able to walk around the room and whatnot. But perhaps in the future. I'm just going back up my comments, just scroll down, so have a look. What is your recommended phone for 2019? I'm sorry to say, but I'm just a Pixel man. I'm so biased towards the experience, and I know there are quite a few flaws with it, but it's that camera and the software experience that I just cannot go past. I cannot enjoy the Samsung, even One UI. It is so much more improved compared to previous iterations of the Samsung software experience, but it's nothing. It pales in comparison, in my opinion anyway, to what we get on Pixel devices. Even stock Android One devices, much better, closer to Pixel devices, pretty close, but it's that Pixel experience that I love. So it's my recommendation. But if I had to actually give you a recommendation of a cheap phone, well, not cheap, but semi-cheap, not super high-end, I'd actually probably say the OnePlus 6, not the 6T, the 6. Not sure if I talked about this on my channel before, but that was a really, really impressive device. And then the 6T, I feel like, downgraded a bit. They obviously did the in-display fingerprint sensor, but that, for mine, is not nearly as good as having a physical one on the back of the phone. It's so much slower, and it lights up and whatnot. And I actually prefer, for some reason, the design of the 6 over the 6T. So I actually would say the OnePlus 6 would be a great phone to pick up. Dylan says your top 10 apps videos are perfect, mate. Thank you so much. I do try and put a lot of effort into them to make them look as visually pleasing as I can. So I appreciate your compliments there. Praneeth says, I've been following you since the very beginning. Final Cut Pro tutorials. That is a long time ago. That's even before, I started doing things revolving around the Android space. So that is, wow. I always wanted to see you hit milestones like this. Thank you so much, mate. That is honestly big thank you. That sort of made me a bit lost for words. Braids of Spades. What approach to the all-screen phone are you most into? Loving the whole punch display. Yeah, I really like that approach from Samsung, and I think it was the Honor View something 10 or 20 or something that did it beforehand. I think it's quite an unobtrusive design choice, and it's because, again, it is so similar to a notch, but it's the fact that you get a little bit of display around that notch that makes it feel less obtrusive. So I really like that as it is right now. And then ultimately looking forward to, I think, under display or in display cameras. But I am nervous about speaker quality, because that is one of the benefits of having a bit of a chin and a slightly larger notch, is that you get phenomenal speakers. But is that just a thing of the past now? I don't know. So yeah, currently my favorite approach is the hole punch, and interested to see this new OnePlus 7 or whatever it's going to be called device that's going to have the pop-up camera. That might be, obviously there's been lots of other phones that have done a similar thing, so they're not the first to do it, but I don't mind that as well. But anytime you introduce more, motors inside a phone, there's just more room for failure in future. So that's something to keep in mind. That's why the hole punch is great, because it's not another moving part. Which phone are you using as of now? So still the Pixel 3 XL. That is my daily driver. I do have the S10 Plus in-house, but as I mentioned earlier, it is it's just a loan. A friend of mine was generous enough to let me borrow it for a week, and I was even pushing. I mean, he was happy for me to have it as long as possible, but I said, nah, look, a week is fine. I'm going to do one video with it, which you'll see in the next couple of weeks. So unfortunately, no full review for this phone, because I'm not using it as my daily driver. Pixel 3 XL is the one that I'm using. And I use the Umi Digi F1 at the moment in my essential phone, in my best Nova Launcher setups videos, as well as the intros to my top Android apps videos. Actually, interesting little tidbit there is that I used to always, whatever device was my main flagship, that would be the phone I'd use to showcase, apps and setups in those different videos. But I found that because I was, trying to do those cinematic intro B-roll shots where the phone's up against a wall and just sitting there, I would get so many scratches on my phone because it would fall over because of the wind. So now I always use a secondary phone. So at the moment, that's the Umi Digi F1. Prior to that was the Essential phone, which we still have here. We actually use it as a white noise monitor for my bub. And but that means that my Pixel, my main device that's in my pocket, which I do still use if it's in a safe scenario, gets to stay in a lot more pristine condition. But this is the one that I'm using. And obviously, if you want to see that setup, watch my video from last week. Right, can you recommend a PC monitor under 100 euros or pounds? I'm sorry, I can't. I'm not that big into it. So if anyone else in the comments wants to hit up a few suggestions, please feel free to do that. Right, I apologize. Yeah, don't take too long to answer questions. I know I can blab. This is why it's good for me to use a script. How about a top 10 Android Magisk module? I don't use that many modules. If you want to see the modules that I currently use, again, look at my last week's video of what's on my phone. That I listed all the modules that I use. One tiny thing to keep in mind is I mentioned last week that I use the Android mic fix, which helps out with the Google detection. I'm trying to not trigger it for your phones or my phone. And it actually can mess up your loudspeaker performance. So what I do is I disable it anytime that whatever for some reason a software update sort of stuffs up the Google detection. I will enable that, reboot, let it restore because it puts a little patch into some software, into some coding, and then I disable it and reboot again, and it generally means that my loudspeaker is still working, but the Google detection is also working. All right. Choose one, Nova or Launch Air V2. Easy, Launch Air V2. I know I do best Nova launcher setups, but actually could probably do that same series using Launch Air because of the flexibility they've added, and it just feels so much more refined than Nova. So I know, big call, apologies, but it is what it is. What is your favorite Magisk modules to install after rooting? Quick switch, that's it. That's my favorite. And also the because I'm here in Australia, the Google call screening module, which enables that feature no matter where you are in the world. Right. Hey Sam, congratulations. Tactical Pizza says, hey Sam, congratulations. Awesome content. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Neo, congrats from Turkey. Awesome. Matthew Gilbert says, not a question, but I want to say, as someone with an ultra wide, thank you for uploading in 21:9. It is awesome and hard to find tech stuff in 21:9. Thank you. I appreciate that. Every video I upload, there's people saying, thanks for uploading in 21:9. And others who are saying why on earth are you uploading in 21:9. It is just a way that I feel it helps to differentiate my channel. So that's why I do it. I'm going to keep doing it because I really enjoy the look that it gives. And yeah, it's not black bars on top, which is not true 21:9, not true anamorphic 2.35:1. I do actually do it in true 2.35:1. Matthew says, also congrats on 100K. Thank you. Let's have a look. Andre says, congrats for the 100K. Thank you. Just coming back up here. Sorry, just scroll down. Andre says, first of all, try to read my name. Andre Louis Lopez Oliveira. How's that? Let me know. Second, what are the best mods for Android in your opinion? I've answered that. So yeah, just go back and you should see it. I'm not big on them. I just install it mainly for quick switch and then also the Google call screening, as I mentioned. Dylan says, should I root my Moto G6 Play? Depends. Is there anything that you're feeling restricted by at the moment? Or are you just wanting to experiment? It's up to you. But I did it because I was feeling restricted by Android Pie. So that's that. Muhsin, I'm definitely butchering that name, so I apologize. Says, thoughts on the OnePlus 7 rumors that it will be like the Vivo Next. Yep, so I just briefly mentioned that not too long ago. Yeah, I think it's shaping up to be that those rumors will be indeed true with the little pop-up selfie camera. There were rumors that it was going to be like the Oppo Find X, which had the full back panel coming up to reveal the selfie cameras and the speakers and whatnot. And I'm glad that it's not going down that route. That felt a little more clunky compared to, I think, just a smaller pop-up camera. I'm excited. But again, it'll all come down to, what sacrifices have they made to put that there? Speaker quality and things like that. The haptic motor inside, I think that's something that they could really improve. There's a lot of refinement that they could make to their current design before trying to make these fancy, crazy designs. So that's my thoughts on the whole OnePlus situation. Matthew says, LG V30 in 2019, it's still a good phone if you want something for around 200 to 300 new. Yep, there you go. Slightly outdated design now, but yeah, sure, it's got specs to hold up with today or roughly hold up with today. Vedar says, congrats on 100K. I apologize, Waho Maya. Man, please let me know. How am I supposed to pronounce that name? What do you think about the Pixel 2016 getting Android Q? Would you do a review about it? When there's a bigger update released, I will probably install Android Q. At the moment, it's quite a small incremental update, believe it or not, from what we currently have with Android Pie. So it's not quite worth going through that process to just show off a couple of small features, particularly given this is my main daily driver device. So it's it's obviously still in beta. So, but yeah, a later beta build I probably will install and do a review of at some point. I'm hoping to anyway. What do you think of Google's Pixel 4 XL renderings? Vedha says. I'm excited. I'm just trying to remember what they look like. Actually, I'm just going to go over to Google real quick. 4 XL. Let's have a look. Pretty sure it was just all screen from memory. and nothing's coming up in my Google. Oh yeah, it's looking like it's all screen. In theory, I'm excited for Google Pixel 4. I think it'll be a big step up, just all around from the 3XL. Even though I love this phone, I think they've probably learnt their lesson by now, and they're going to do make some changes that the people are going to be happy with. I think they have to, really, to appeal to a larger audience. So I am excited to see a phone that's running the Pixel experience as implemented by Google, but with a more refined design. But as it is, I actually don't quite mind the design of the Pixel 3 XL. So there it is. Artsy Music says, what's your favorite phone of all time? Gee, OnePlus 5T was up there. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Although I started with the OnePlus 3T, and that was a game changer for me because I came from using Samsung phones and didn't quite realize how beautiful a more stock-like experience was. And that was my first experience of that with Oxygen OS. And back then it was even better, in my opinion, than what we have right now, believe it or not. So yeah, they've slightly departed a bit more over time from what we get on the Pixel phones and the Android One lineup of phones. And I don't like it as much as what I had back on the OnePlus 3T. And that, yeah, I loved that phone. So it does hold a special place in my heart. But my favorite phone of all time is actually right now the Pixel 3 XL, believe it or not. Simon says, hi, hello, how are you? Andre, first joining your live stream. Elon, love your work, big fan, awesome. Can you make content about Elgato? Maybe. Yeah, I am using an Elgato cam link at the moment. So, yeah, perhaps we'll see. Right, let's keep scrolling down these questions. Alan says, other than yourself, is there any underrated tech channels you'd recommend? Great question. A fellow called Matt Gonzalez. He posts some excellent content that I'm subscribed to him. We've interacted a little bit on Twitter as well. So, hello, Matt, if you happen to watch this at some point. I think that's his last name. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. But he works for Techno Buffaloes and does a lot of that content creation. He's even been in some of their videos, so you probably recognize him. But that can give you a little bit of an insight into the quality of his videos. But he's only around the 50K mark, give or take. I can't quite remember. Great channel. Should check him out. I'm trying to think who else. Let me check my subscriber list over here. Who have I got? Underrated, you say. So that limits it a little bit. Yeah. That's Matt's probably the only underrated one that I can see on my list at this point in time. Other ones you probably recognize. Andre says, that was quite good, my pronunciation of his name, so that's good to hear. Right. Scrolling down. What do you think about, Andre says, what do you think about the Nokia 9 PureView? Interesting. I think when they said there was going to be 5 cameras, we probably thought that they might have been different focal lengths, some wide and some telephoto, and then some depth sensors. But it turns out they're all the same focal length, and it's all just for building up detail. Which I've seen some of the photos, and they do look pretty impressive. Will I be getting my own hands on it? No. The design is a little bit outdated. I don't mind it. It's actually a beautiful design for maybe early last year, towards the end of 2017 even, but in this day and age of more full screen devices, the design isn't quite there, so that's an interesting approach from them. But who knows, maybe we have a contender for top camera on a smartphone. You never know. But it'd be interesting to see how that then translates over to video. A lot of people do obviously want the same quality in their videos that they have in their images, and when you've got that amount of sensors on the back of a phone, and there lots of software processing happening like we see on the Pixel phones, then that doesn't necessarily translate to video quality. So that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, definitely looks like an interesting phone. I'm a big believer of the Nokia lineup of Android smartphones. I recommend them to a lot of people as budget options because of the software experience. And actually because of the design. A lot of them have really, really beautiful and refined designs. So I actually am a big fan of the Nokia phones. A name that is impossible for me to pronounce. It's just some letters. It's jumped down. Uoea. That's definitely not it. I've lost, I've lost his question. He says, "What do you think about the new Nova update?" Haven't really. I've updated, but haven't really tried it. Their updates are quite incremental at this point in time. I'd love to see them support, use of the gesture system and also the overview menu. That'd be a big one on my list. That would make me potentially consider going back to using them full time. But at this point in time, not going to be using it as my daily driver launcher. Right. I'm so sorry. It's just jumped all over the place here in my comments. Suggestion, you should work on an upload schedule and upload at least twice a week to keep pushing more. This is what Praneeth says. Just want to see you on 1 million mark soon. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I understand that, once a week, I still think you can grow quite significantly uploading once a week, depending on your content. And just with my life situation at the moment, I work 4 days a week at another job, and I have 1 day a week doing YouTube. And I've got a 6-month-old baby boy and a wife as well that I want to spend lots of time with. So at this point in time, not an option to up the schedule, but hopefully in the future, we'll see how we go there. Rightio, coming down. Ryko says, "Wow, thank you for skipping me. You can watch the video later though." Oh, there was a hidden message up there about, what was it? I have to click show, do I? Okay, can I have a look at a video I'll release soon? Filmed with my phone. Yep, I'll take a look at that later on, and I'll send you a DM. Braids of Spades. What would you rather, running the phone naked or using skins? Naked, in my opinion. I've experimented with skins in the past. I like them for what they are, but I prefer the feel of a metal and glass phone in my hand than I do a skinned phone. So there you go. And it doesn't offer a lot of protection either. It's more a design. What do you prefer? And so I quite like having a phone that holds the original design that the manufacturer intended. UIO, that name that I can't pronounce. You're a great YouTuber. Thank you very much. Okay. Sorry, it's jumping all over the place here, guys. Will Conner, Conair, what do you like better, the iPhone XR or Samsung S10e? Got to be the S10e for me. Not as much compromise, particularly because of that display quality, as what the iPhone XR is compared to the iPhone XS and XS Max. But then again, it simply comes down to an iOS versus Android thing. So yeah, it's not really a debate. It's, do you like iPhones or do you like Android phones? And so make your decision based off that. But what's better value? The S10e, in my opinion. Gus says, "Oh man, didn't know this was your 100k award. Thought you were at 1 million. Oh, thanks, mate. That hopefully in the future we'll see. TechStorm, what's your opinion on MWC 2019? Wasn't there, didn't go, didn't really keep a track of much of what was going on except for a lot of the Samsung business. So not really able to provide much of an answer there. Although lots of folding phones, and I'm very interested on how they're going to actually look in real life when people are starting to use them. Shrikhan says, "Google has the best design of everything." Well, in terms of software, yes. Dylan says, "Thanks for the stream. Keep up the good work." Thank you, mate. Karthik says, "Congrats on 100k. Will it be good to buy some old $200 phone and root with Lineage OS? If so, some more recommendation, please. Or old phone recommendation, please." Yeah, probably. In terms of what sort of phones to get, maybe look into the Nokia lineup, or even even the Poker phone. There's the Pixel experience that you can install on that, which I think improves the intrigue of that device tenfold. The fact that you can change, because I don't like the software experience that comes by default, but the fact that you can install a Pixel experience on it is very impressive. Do you think the One UI is a big step forward? So this is Samsung's new software skin. Yes, it is a big step forward. It's still very Samsung-esque. So it's still not my flavor. I still don't love it. But do I ever think they're gonna implement a stock Android-esque experience? No. So yes, this is actually a big step forward, and and I like what I'm seeing. It definitely looks and feels a lot more fluid than what we've had in the past, but it still has that Samsung vibe to it, which for some reason I've never been a big fan of. Artsy says, the OnePlus 5T is the phone that I'm currently using. Thank you for answering my question. No worries. Great phone. Mushin said, I have a OnePlus 3T and I sub just because you use the 3T in your top Android apps video. Cool. Yeah, often I find that people subscribe because they're like, that's my phone. He's using it. I'm on board. Andre says, thanks for answering my question. It's really good to see Nokia kind of stepping up. I've been a fan of Nokia since the 3310 days, which is a long time ago. Yes, it is cool to see them step up. They have so many devices. I wonder if that's maybe saturating the market a little bit too much and making people a bit confused about what to get in their lineup, and therefore they just go somewhere else. So that is an interesting strategy. I'm not really too sure why they have done it that way. By the way, guys, we're probably nearing the end of this stream here, so if you've got any questions, make sure you put them in. Pablo says, XDA released an ADB method to hide back button and swipe left to go back. Works amazing, Android Q. Interesting. I'm going to look into that article because was that on the developer, pre-beta builds, or was that on this current beta build that just got released yesterday? Let me know, because that's exciting. Vidhar says, tell her about your workflow involved in making videos and where did you get the inspiration for the first time? That is a big question. I talked about my workflow quite a while ago, maybe 30 minutes ago in this stream. So perhaps at the end of this, you can jump back and have a watch of that where I unpack my top Android apps filming and editing process. So it's probably worthwhile just heading back once this stream is over and checking that out. Takes a while though. Yes, the fellow or the person, I'm sorry if you're not a fellow, the person who has the name I cannot pronounce says, I think I should change my name. Probably a fair call. Is that your real name? If not, if it is, just put it in a way that I can read it. That way I'll be able to do it. Elon says, why Google Pixel doesn't support MHL? MHL. I can't stream with any game picture. Not sure what that is. I'm not a gamer, so not too sure. What phone, Jerry says, what phone will you review in the near future? No plans at the moment for bigger, longer form phone reviews like my Pixel and iPhone XS video. Yeah, they take a long time, so I'm not going to be doing that with every single phone. Will Connett says, stock Android or Nova Launcher? Well, it's got to be stock Android so that it can go with the gesture navigation system and the overview menu. All right, last couple of questions here, guys. Shurikan says, do you think that making bigger and bigger smartphones is a bad habit of producers or manufacturers? Not necessarily. I mean, it's the way of the future. We want things in front of us and big and crispy and clear. I used to be anti them. I liked a bit smaller of a device in my hand. I've got the Google Pixel 3 XL right now, which is one of the larger phones on the market, and I actually quite enjoy it. Once you start using it, you get used to it. There's got to be a limit though, surely. Although with these foldable phones, who knows what that is. Right, maybe one more question. Would you consider switching to Samsung after the One UI update from your stock Android Pixel? That's TechStorm says that. I've mentioned it again throughout the video. I still feel like the One UI, whilst it's a massive improvement over previous iterations, it's still very Samsung-esque and not quite my style. So no, I wouldn't make the switch, in terms of making it my daily driver. What's my daily driver? Michael says Pixel 3 XL. Watch my What's on my phone video from last week. And what state am I from? New South Wales in Australia. But that is it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and interacting with lots of questions and also for your congratulations. It genuinely means so much that you are willing to interact with me and watch my videos and comment and say that you appreciate the content that I make. So thank you so much. It's been a big journey so far. Hopefully heaps more to come. Obviously there's lots of plans for videos in the future, so stay tuned. But thank you everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video.